Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for a purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. For uses of use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, education, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Now let's start this dang show.
You gonna have any fights this week? Oh man, we gotta have some fights.
All right, welcome to the show. We are live virtually, kind of in a way, at Draft Central. You see the background right there. Asylum, we're like on location, kind of like, really, we got our little cage match desk.
I had a lot of shit done today and took some meds, so I'm on whatever location you need me to be on.
I'm on a location.
You're the Lambo lead. But I don't hear that.
Well, we are here live. This is, we're here on location, quote unquote, on location. You know what we're going to be doing.
We are getting to the stage.
Yes, closest we're getting to the stage tomorrow night on the draft, as we be doing our draft show, our cage match. Where is it at? Our cage match, live coverage of the draft, first copyright, first round rumble. Right there. So we're going to be doing a lot of stuff tomorrow. We're going to try to pretend like we're there. And we are there.
We are there.
For those, yes, we're trying to be like the lower tier of a Pat McAfee type of show. So, that's what we're doing. But all right, enough of that. Enough of us for a little bit. Let's do a little bit of us, whatever. Let's do our favorite subject, whatever it's called. Segment. Segue to our favorite segment. Here we go, Asylum. Take over with your Lambo leap on your meds, whatever. Here we go.
All right, everyone go to the YouTube channel, The Cage Match Show. Like, share, subscribe. Give us the thumbs up and hit that bell. That way you know anytime a video or short drops. And if Roger Goodell or Triple H want to flap their meat curtains and try to shut us down, you catch us on Facebook at the Oakland Raiders Savage page, or my page, Asylum. I told you the meds on Facebook, and we'll let you know it's okay when it's okay to come back to Facebook.
Yes.
And when we're done with the show, short, long, however, it's going to be, go visit WGG, browse their variety of different products. And when you check out, in that discount code little box right there, put Cage Match, one word, to get 10% off your entire order.
And like we always say, when you think of wins, think of dubs. When you think of dubs, think of Dubby. Maybe, hopefully, I don't know what would be a win, what we considered a win for tomorrow's draft. But
not drafting Shador Sanders.
Go to Dubby and go there. Cage match, one word, GACAGEMATCH in the discount code, 10% off your whole order. And whoever we pick, just make sure that they're on Dubby Energy right there. And also, shouts out to the Compa Fabian. Go to www.art4lifer.com. Go there, Raider Nation for Lifer. Check out his catalog because he produces and makes his own merch. Like I always say, I always wear hats. For the man himself, and we're on location, wearing a hat. So go there, RaiderNationForLifer.com. And also, shout out to Raider Man. He might come on the show tomorrow night. He does have a previous engagement, but he might come in right before the pick to give his thoughts. So hopefully, but shouts out to Raider Man 19, the Raider Man for Raider Man from Richmond podcast. I believe will be out and running. He does have his podcast about to go on again. So we always shout him out and put him out there. And of course, where you want to put him at is in front of that torch to do the Raider O that you hear at the end of our intro when 65,000 fans of Silver and Black Heritage, Raider Nation, go out there and you hear Raider Man in front of the torch say, I am a Raider fan, and get everybody fired up with that Raider mystique. All right. Shouts out to Raider Man. Asylum.
What's up?
In our nice little desk over here, the cage match desk. You know, we're just kind of doing a little preview of what we're going to be doing tomorrow night. But that's not
going.
why.
You know, I'm playing injured today, so just work with me.
Hey, speaking of the Jim Otto streak, Jim Otto played injured. Jim Otto played the next day after surgery, okay? Leg still stitched on. He still went out there and played, okay?
I'm playing the day up. So I can't.
You're really taking this Jim Otto streak very seriously, so I appreciate that.
There you go. I don't half-ass nothing.
Well,
if I'm going to fuck up, I'm going to fuck up big. You know that.
Without further ado, this is basically a Miss Peggy perspective special. Okay? So let's bring her in to the desk. Asylum, can you please put her intro on?
You know, if I break that streak, I want my own intro.
Hello, everybody. We are here tonight. The night.
How do you like the studio?
I love it. And Asylum, I think we had a birthday last week or this week. Did you have a birthday?
Not me.
No, that must have been the other Asylum. There's another Asylum running around. So it must have been another Asylum. Well, no, I love the setting, and you guys.
Hey, there's only one Asylum. There's only one Asylum.
I
they broke the mold.
I blasphemed.
They broke the mold after I was born. They said we can't handle another one of him.
No, we really can't. But let's get this kicked off and started. And I know a lot of people have expectations for tomorrow night, but I can't really tell what's going on because Pete Carroll is a defensive guy, but you know, we need weapons.
Yes.
I mean, besides Bauer, we have nobody that defenses fear. And I posted that up today on my Facebook page. Got a lot of response. I can't see anything else we could do at 6. A lot of people talk about trade back. Why? I'm going to sit at 6.
We get more picks that way.
I know, but if the guy you want is gone, I mean, we need help right now. We don't need developmental situation.
But you can still go back a few picks. You go back to about 12 and still get a guy who could play right now and not be developmental.
I mean, that would say it. It just depends on what you want and who you
But it
want.
also depends on which position and everything else. I mean, you got 6 of one and half a dozen of another on what could be done tomorrow and the way it's
Right.
going to go, and none of us know which way it's going to be. To be honest with you,
Well, but surely, if they're not thinking O line or offense for that number 6 pick, they need to go back to the drawing board. But see, the wild card is Pete being a defensive guy. There's some good DTs on the board this year. Did you see him? There was some great.
I do have. Do I have that? But do we do for defensive side? Like, do we use the 6 on the defense on defensive line, especially if all the guys are coming back healthy, like a Christian Wilkins, and we got the both Butlers coming back, and
right, and Tyree is still there, and Max hopefully come back healthy too. I just don't think defense is where we need our help. We need weapons.
Yeah.
And I'm going to save a little segment to talk about the total radio silence on that O-line.
that's what I think we need right there. You keep saying weapons, which we get throughout. I think we need to go with the sexy pick and get that O-line and start working there. That's the sexy pick right there.
It really is. And I'm not going to be unhappy to see a O-lineman. Okay, because Lord knows, today I used the term for the guys that we have kept that I haven't heard have gone anywhere. I called them nags. Hopefully, they can be coached up. That's probably what they're hoping for.
Yeah,
I see your Membo pick being talked about.
That's if we stay at 6. That's what I want. We're bringing sexy back. We're getting Membo. I mean, we're going to be working on that line, that trenches, where it gets down and dirty. That O-line needs to get back to being nasty. I want to bring nasty back to the NFL.
Yeah. You just basically quoted Art Shell when he goes, we got to get down to dirt, get nasty. You just basically quoted Art Shell when he was head coach for the Raiders in the first stint in L.A. So we want guys to get down to dirt and get nasty.
And I'm all for it. For 10 years, I was calling for a DT as our first round pick. Of course, never got it. But it'd be a shame if I got it this year when I don't think we really need it.
Yeah.
But the trenches, I can't say no to that. Can't say no to that because you know what I think about our O-line from last year. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they're bringing everybody back except Whitehair and James. And Parham, I'm looking at him. Why does everybody think he can play? I mean, at the position that he's playing at. But see, we got to see what Chip's up to. Really, we got to be calm.
We did have a segment, was it last week, Savage, or was it
2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago, where we actually put together an offensive line with who we have on the team now. No draft picks, no nothing. Who was on the team now, and mine was kind of outside the box.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm trying to find that graphic too.
Yeah, because that really, I wouldn't at 6. I wouldn't be mad at an O lineman. I've even heard talk about a wide receiver taking that boy McMillan.
I've heard that talk too, and I wouldn't be mad at the right wide receiver at that spot either. Even though I think if you got your chance at Armin, you pick him up. Save your wide receiver, move back up in later in the first round if you want a wide receiver that bad. But if that big boy is still sitting there at 6, you pick him up, and like I said, that's bringing sexy back to that position. I mean, everyone always says offensive line, that's not the sexy pick, da-da-da-da. But I don't know how much more sexy you get when your running backs can run, your quarterback's staying upright, having time to do what he needs to throw the ball. That there is sexy to me.
Okay, except for the people that are wanting to trade back and start making deals, get more picks, da-da-da. Are we all agreed that number 6 just has to be something offensive? I mean, this team
It has to be offense because we haven't really addressed it offense. I know we need corner, and I know we need or we need DB, and I know we need linebacker, but
is
I
there
think
really a DB that's worth taking that high right now in the draft?
There may be some arguments about it, but
I mean,
again,
there could be, but I have to agree with you, Peggy, and say it has to be an offense. It's either got to be wide receiver. I'm saying no to Genty. I know you kind of, when you did your mock draft and put it out there, you guys had picked Genty. But I think you ain't got a line to run behind. Genty ain't going to be able to do shit. So you need to turn around and
the mystery O-line.
that's what I'm saying. It's just one of those, do you get that Genty player and then try to piece it together? Or do you just focus on the O-line and get somebody who may not quite be up there to that Genty caliber, but that's right behind them, whatever, and maybe could play as good, if not better than Genty because of the O-line that he's running behind. We all know that an O-line can make an average running back look good.
Oh, yeah. We've known it since the days of Joe Gibbs. But
yeah, I mean, and that's basically how the Broncos in the 90s, you could throw anyone back there and they get 1,000 yards that year, as long as you have a system and that offensive line that can run that system smoothly, So, like you saw with the Broncos. So,
yeah, but see, now let's go with the argument for a wide receiver. I mean, we don't have a number one. As much as I hate to say it, the boy Tucker, it's just hasn't developed the way we want. Now, under Chip, with his staff, we may see something different. And everyone says that, of course, Myers has reached his ceiling at number 2. Not having
I don't know if he's reached the ceiling yet. I think under a Chip Kelly offense, I think Myers might have a little bit more in there, and he can surprise people. I'm not saying he's necessarily that number 1 right now, but maybe under a Chip Kelly kind of offense, he can't be that guy. I agree. Tucker, he's your take the top off the field. He's your speedster, and that's truly all it is. He's kind of a little one-dimensional there. And I'm not saying we don't need another receiver. You get somebody who's good enough, you can put Meyer in the slot, then with the Brock Bowers and, everything else going, and be able to, make things work. That's the one thing that's nice about having Chip Kelly is he could build something to be able to use these guys' strengths and put them in the right area of the field that they're going to do the most damage.
Yeah, but it does go down to talent level. And the question is, are we going last year, every game, they game planned our receivers out of the game. We have got to be able to stretch the field, or I'm afraid we're going to see what we saw last year. We see lots of 7-man lines, them stopping the run, pressuring the quarterback. We need somebody out there to free Bowers up.
I think, we haven't had the 2 years that Jacoby Myers was here. We haven't had consistent quarterback play, and a receiver can't really do much if a quarterback is on his back, which now goes to the offensive line. Garoppolo don't count; he was garbage.
All these count to the offensive line.
Yes.
So, and I've been saying it's been always hard to judge the guys that we have in this team if they're good or not because the offensive line has been shaky. Then the quarterback play the last 2-3 years have been up and more down than up. Offensive coordinators haven't been all that great. So it's like a chain reaction. When Myers gets an opportunity, he can make plays. But I just think that with the way the offense has been with McDaniels, then with Hardegree, then with Getsy and then the Turners, it's just been all over the place, and I don't know. It's hard to judge his offense and who we have because we haven't had good quarterback play and good offensive coordinator.
And calling play. That's really fair, Savage, and it is hard to judge. But at this moment in time, I'm just looking at the way other NFL teams look at us. Has been looking at our offense. they've been disrespecting us. Let's just call it the way it was. They come in there. The first thing to do is stack the line to stop our running game, right? They take that dimension away, and then they say, well, we know you're not going to beat us deep. And so what are we left with? Bowers underneath.
Yeah.
And I know this year, since now they've had time to look at film, they're definitely going to be double and triple teaming this guy. Okay? If they think he's our only weapon, they need something to think about. And Chip's offense needs something to free up that middle. And we've just got to take the corner and safety out of play. Okay? And so far, they've been playing close to the line. They just have been not respectful of any aspect of our game. And yes, it is OC, it is quarterback play, and it's
and no running game.
Right. Well, that's because they could put 7 guys up there.
Yeah.
Right? They'd have no respect for our deep game. If they had any respect for our deep game, they couldn't put 7 or 6 in the box. But they do.
Can't have a deep game if you ain't got a quarterback who can stay standing up.
It is true. And I want to take this time to say something about Minshew, who really got the blame for the offense really not doing well. But you name the things that he was working up against. No running game, no deep receiver, field stretching receiver, 2 offensive coordinators in one season. Okay. O-line protection non-existent. In Indianapolis, you saw a whole different quarterback. He had coaching, right? It's consistent OC, pretty good play calling. He had some weapons. Of course, he had an all-pro running back, Taylor. I mean, and of course, that O-line is one of the better O-lines. I mean, it's decent. They've got all pros on their O-line.
What if it was psychological? What if it was because he wasn't the starter with the Colts? It was the rookie at the time, and he got hurt. I think he got hurt, and then I know he played the majority of the season, but he wasn't the guy. So he can play like freely because I'm not the guy. But now you come over here to the Raiders, and not that you came in to be the guy, but you came in to kind of be the guy. Maybe the pressure, I don't know, because in the preseason, whether that was Getsy or him, it was I don't know.
It wasn't an offense that was built for his better skills. It was clearly, and of course, the O-line play, like you say, makes it really impossible. I thought Minshew got a lot of blame. I mean, people forget AOC was injured twice behind that O-line. And of course, you know what happened to Minshew. I was waiting for that injury to happen, season ending. I mean, there just wasn't a chance for him. I don't know what people wanted. But here we go. Now they wanted a miracle. And I don't think it's possible really for any quarterback in the league to play under those conditions. And AOC didn't do much better either. Okay. So now we've got Geno. We still got no wide receiver. We still got no running game. We got Mostert in here. I don't know now let's talk about the brain trust. Who's making that pick? Who's really making the pick?
Mark Davis. No, Tom Brady. They said he's going to be.
I just read an article that said he will be heavily involved in this pick.
What does that mean, heavily involved? He has zero experience. I mean, come on. Chip's got to be involved, right?
Yeah.
We would hope so.
I mean, we're going to get if it's offense, we're going to get the guy that's going to fit that Chip knows. Chip is the best one to tell you what kind of guy, what kind of skill set the guy he drafts, either running back or whatever. And I'm understanding that this draft is running back deep. So
that's what I'm hearing.
We don't get Junty or Hampton. We can go deep, right?
Yeah.
They've got quite a few. I've been hearing this deep, so we could wait a few rounds if we don't want to pick Junty. And they've been keeping it quite close to the vest with the Raiders, in terms of what they need to do, but I think they can't ignore offense. They really, really can't. And I think, you're going to see now. Throw up that mock draft that y'all had again. I like the Banks pick, by the way.
All righty.
And then you picked your running back in the second round, right? You picked your quarterback in the third round. You went offense first 4 rounds. Love it. Okay. And then what? You picked another offensive tackle, right? What's that? 6th round? We have how many? And we have 3 7th round picks, right? Or is it?
Well, no, we have 3 6th round picks.
6th round picks, right,
in this draft. I do have that too.
Yeah. And so you went linebacker, DT. That sounds right. You picked up another running back. That's 2, right? And another wide receiver. You guys were on point. Exactly what we needed.
Asylum,
we hit all our needs.
Yeah.
We felt, we were trying to fill the needing spots.
Right.
And we did this trading back from 6 to 12. Got some more picks later on in the draft.
Favorite decision right there. We actually did it and traded back and added 2 picks. We added 2 picks in doing that, which allowed us to be able to do the quarterback in there and throw the linebacker in there and still be able to, get, focus heavily on the offensive side of the ball, but filling those other needs that we thought maybe, depth pieces, right? I mean, that's what some of it is turning out to be, or possibly filling in those, spots that you never know with injuries and somebody just might not work out. You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And let's really, while we're getting the time, because my time is short, I'm going to take a stroll down memory lane. The Raiders have had the worst of luck with first round picks since 2000. And really, I mean, we can name we could call Janikowski a success, right?
Yeah.
Would you call it?
Yeah,
And
for
Gibson,
all of after, let's see, for the middle to the late of the early 2000s into the teens, he was our only him and Lettler were their only Pro Bowl players that was consistent going to the Pro Bowl every year. So I would say, with those bad teams, I
mean, we might say Namdi was a good pick, and Gallery looked like a good pick, but he wasn't a tackle.
Yeah,
and that was disappointing to Al, I'm sure. But who remembers Fabian Washington?
Fabian Washington. When Asamoah had his contract whole thing, I believe that Al Davis let him go and gave that money to Fabian. Was it Fabian Washington? Right? Yeah.
I mean, I really don't even know how long this guy stayed in the league. Then the next year was Michael Huff, and Huff was one of those players that could have been good, but pretty aggressive guy too.
But he was fast.
Al liked fast.
Al liked fast.
He definitely did. We all know about the Jamarcus pick, and
I never heard of that guy. What happened there?
And then McFadden, you could say, was a good pick, but he stayed hurt, right?
Yeah.
With Derek,
and McFadden didn't really have the offensive coordinators that we had. It was one, I forgot who it was. That when they went to the power running, he was good at the power running, but the other coordinators that we had during that time he was with us went through that zone, and he wasn't good in that zone blocking. When it was downhill, he was good, but we just never knew how to build a offense around him. We always had the wrong coordinator trying to fit him into their system instead of the other way around.
It was them chicken legs.
Right.
Yeah.
It goes back to what I was saying about drafting, and it's not when and where they're drafting, but who drafts them that makes or breaks a player's career. What system you're in, the coaching, the organization itself, that's more crucial than where you go in the draft. And, I mean, Haywood Bay.
Oh, systems is a big deal. People, we can talk about that. We've talked about that with quarterbacks. How a quarterback can be good one place and not another, and it's all about the system. That could go with running backs. I mean, that goes with a lot of players. Some players are better fits for a particular type of style with zone blocking, zone running, power. That whatever systems matter when it comes to some of these players. Now there are players out there talented enough to be able to play in whatever they're thrown into, but those are far and few in between. You don't get a lot of that. So finding the right player to fit the system we have now is going to be key in this draft.
And that's the same thing with Asamoah when he was with the Raiders playing that one half of the field. He shut down that one half of the field as a corner. When he went to the Eagles under Chip Kelly when he was head coach over there, they try to make him a safety type of a DB, and he didn't have the same type of impact on that defense that he did with the Raiders. So just like Asylum said, if you don't have the right player or if the player's not in the right system, he's not going to perform. If he was in a system that that he's more comfortable in performing, or they say, well, you're all professionals, you should know. But I mean, to some of these players, they're comfortable a certain way, and that's how they got up. Like let's say up in the draft, or they got up, like say in their first team in the NFL, and then when they go get that big money to another team, it's not the same system. You're buying the name and not buying the skill. They tend to, inconsistent play. So,
and let's move on. I mean, Haywood Bay, I don't know what happened there. I mean, the guy,
he was fast.
There you go, another fast guy, but just no hands.
He was fast.
I didn't understand why. And by the way, Haywood Bay went on to have a very nice career with the Steelers as a special teamer, as a backup wide receiver. He was really a leader over there. But, just like Desmond Howard, was drafted to be a wide receiver. First round. I mean, and then the next one, Rolando McClain, head case.
Yeah.
I mean, who knew? Absolutely. Who knew what was going on with that guy? Did he end up with the Cowboys?
Yeah, right? He got traded to the Cowboys after he was out for a year because he kept getting into legal issues every time he went back home or went back to Auburn, Alabama. That's right here. Duh. Alabama kept getting in trouble down there. I think was out for a year. Raiders traded him to the Cowboys. Revived his career, but then he got in trouble again, I believe, and then that was just the end of it. He just kind of disappeared into the abyss.
And then he tried to do a comeback with the Ravens.
Right.
That's right. That's right.
And just, very talented guy. But I mean, we've had a lot of misses at first. And I want to talk about Reggie McKenzie because a lot of people still the Reggie McKenzie years. I mean, with the exception of Mack, Cooper, and of course Miller, we got a keeper. I mean, Carl Joseph, is he even in the league anymore?
No, I don't think so.
Garen Conley, and by the way, rest in peace, DJ.
Conley's on.
Yes.
I don't. Conley, I think played last year.
Yeah, he just. I mean, all I know is I learned the term shin splints. I had no idea it was a medical condition until Gary and Conley came on the scene. I'm like, shin what?
How do you get shin splints?
I mean, I know that it has something to do
with
bone, and it's a surgical thing. But I know, unfortunately, this guy never worked out for us. Then we go to 2023 under Dave Ziegler. I mean, Tyree Wilson, right? The jury's still out on him, guys. What do you think?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, for lack of a better term here, it's make or break for him. It's really, he needs to show up, or I mean, there's a chance he can lose his job in preseason right here. In all honesty, he needs to really show that he can and has learned something, and have more than the bull rush. He has that bull rush, and I think that's what's kept him going so far. But he definitely needs to be able to add more, or otherwise he is going to be only a rotational piece that comes in on, special downs or special circumstances, just to be able to come in for a play or two and then go back out,
And Jason says that shin splints are painful. He says they are. I don't know what was happening. But now let's go. We skipped right over the Mayock years. Cleveland.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs was about the only guy that people could say was really a good pick, but all the rest are out of the league. Abram.
Well, I mean, Brett was good until he had his off-field. He was starting to build up everything, but those off-field problems that he had that has affected his life and others. I mean, that was bad decision. I would put Ruggs in there as the possibility of everything, but everybody else, yeah.
I mean, Damon Arnett was just insane. There was something wrong with him.
Insane.
And I still don't know why McDaniels and them did to Leatherwood. We knew the guy was not a tackle. He was a guard. And that happens frequently. As a matter of fact, a lot of the tackles in this year's draft, a lot of people are saying because of their short arms that they ought to be guards. Okay, now, and even with the top picks, they keep talking about their short arms or their footwork. They probably would do better as guard. There are very few true tackles, offensive tackles in the league. But Leatherwood, he played at guard. He did fine. But McDaniels was just determined to get rid of him and kept playing him at tackle, where he knew that this boy could not play.
Yeah, sent him to Chicago, and that was it. He never made it through training camp.
He was destroyed.
Yeah.
He was destroyed. I mean, mentally, he just could not, get it. And that, I got to give Cleveland some credit. A lot was expected of him. He didn't do well with the Raiders, but he's managed to go around the league and make an impact. He was in San Francisco, right, wasn't he? Now,
yes.
And then is he with Cleveland now? Or?
No, I think he went with Jacksonville.
Jacksonville, okay. So he's been able to find a place, but lots of people are going to argue number 4 too high for this guy.
Yeah.
No, and that's true. I mean, a lot of these players could be good, whatever. But when it comes to being picked at number 4, that expectations, for the player, at that pick, he definitely did not live up to the hype of somebody who was picked number 4.
Right.
Just like Tyree Wilson, I think is falling into that same category of if he wasn't picked 7, people wouldn't be so hard on him about everything.
Yeah, and that's too bad. I still think it's not when you're picked, it's the team you're picked by. I mean, the Raiders, well, on defense, the Raiders have had stability, but maybe Wilson is being asked to do things. I thought they were going to move him around last year. Didn't you expect that he could play? We found out he could play in the middle pretty good.
Yeah, and they kind of did in the beginning, but then, I mean, even Antonio Pierce had made it clear in his interviews he didn't do a lot of what he wanted to do because of, he was worried about, whatever the reasons, he didn't do what he did when he was interim. He didn't play off of his gut and play people where he felt was the right place to play him. He was listening to everybody else, doing everything, going, and didn't do what got him the head coaching job to begin with.
Mm-hmm. Now, and Anna's making a good point here about the pressure being high, but where is the pressure? I'm trying to think, where is pressure, because we all know that this is a rebuilding.
The pressure, it was coming up the middle over Andre James. Oh, wrong kind of pressure. Never mind. Okay.
I mean, I think because I think Pete Carroll's, I mean, you guys said it before, Pete Carroll's going to get that year You know what I'm saying? Where everybody's going to say, all right, we're rebuilding, we're retuning, we're resetting, we're trying to look at a different philosophy of football, building a team a different way, the Pete Carroll way. So Pete's going to get that pass. So I'm not sure. I'll tell you who is under pressure, Geno Smith. Right?
Well, if we don't get this offensive line squared up.
I'll agree with you there, but isn't there a little bit of pressure on Chip Kelly?
There is. Lots.
You know,
which is the main reason why Getsy we knew wasn't going to work, and Turner, his replacement, we weren't going to keep. I mean, what McDaniels, we keep going back to this. McDaniels just dismantled the strongest unit of our team and left it in ashes. And only a Chip Kelly type of OC could have rebuilt it. And we're still waiting for that rebuild.
And there's pressure in that right there because there's a lot of pressure to come in and have to be able to do that. A lot of pressure with we just talked about. It was Gardner Minshew had to deal with two offensive coordinators, where O'Connell had to deal with 4 offensive coordinators. We keep going. The offensive coordinator, we may have given some coaches chances, here, but that OC position, the offense, which has been stagnant for the last 2 years, to me, I agree. There's some pressure on Geno Smith, especially getting that contract, coming back with Pete Carroll, everything going. Mm-hmm. But I think there's a lot of pressure on Chip Kelly to turn around this offense.
Mm-hmm. But he's got to have the O-line. He's got to have the weapons. I mean, he does not at this moment in time. Let's take a snapshot. He does not have the tools that he needs to build the kind of offense. Maybe they give him a year too. Okay, we've still got holes. I want to see what kind of magic they perform on that O-line because
I don't know. I thought my O-line was pretty good.
Yeah.
I saw them one more time. Explain the philosophy. These are with the guys we have right now. Not talking about the draft, who could come in or whatever. These are what we have right now on the roster now. When Asylum started explaining, I said, "Oh, okay, I see what you're doing, and I see that. I see how that could work." Asylum, how was
I put this together? I put this together with the assumption. I know that's a big bad no, but with the assumption Colton Miller's coming back healthy, not the Colton Miller of last year, but the Colton Miller of 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and at the time. Before you started coming on the show, Peggy, we both agreed Dylan Parham was better at center than wherever you put him. Parham is good at center. And I put Powers back there in that position because of his nastiness. That, I want to protect Geno Smith's blind side. A healthy Colton Miller. A nasty, mean Powers. I'm bringing back the shades of the Art Shell and Gene Upshaw years where we can run. You don't have to worry about the blind side. You can run to that left. You're talking about a guy who gets to the second level and level linebackers. There ain't nobody stopping JPJ. You can take a Mostert. You can take the running back group of last year, and they can be successful running on that left side.
Mm-hmm. Zamir White?
I'm sorry.
Was Zamir White?
With Zamir White, yeah. With Zamir White.
A lot of people say he's a bum. He's finished. He's done. But Zamir really got ambushed with that new offensive line scheme. And it just was not suited for him. He needed to recognize cutback lanes. That's not the kind of runner he is. Downhill power runner. And it just, if he hadn't have gotten hurt, maybe he would have learned. Hell, it took
we're going back to Chip Kelly, who can sit here and design the plays and go. You got, you could have JPJ pulling to go to the right if you need. We had the thing going there from center, that whole left side with what I put together. I think would have been that dominant left side.
Put that up against Savage. I need to see who you got. I like you moving Mumford over, Savage. I'm gonna give you some thumbs up because I'm definitely thinking Miller is physically unable to perform. Asylum, it makes sense switching Powers Johnson to guard and Dillon to center. It really does. Meredith, he didn't do too bad of a job, but I saw him getting overpowered too. I mean, Glaze, a lot of people liked what they saw last year. And have we solved our right tackle problem? Have we? I don't know.
He was serviceable for what we had at quarterback, at running back, and at coordinators. Because there was, one, and then there was 2A and 2B, the Turners. So for someone who, I guess, was a project, he learned real quick. So maybe with a Chip Kelly.
That's what got him drafted, was in that Senior Bowl or this whatever game that he played. He showed he was coachable, and that's why he got drafted. And it continues. I think under a Chip Kelly and things going, I think DJ Glaze is not hitting his ceiling. He still got things to go. I think he, as you said, solved the problem. I think he's the answer for what we have going, and I don't think it's something we're looking to necessarily replace. We just want to refine him and see what we got with a little bit of refining, getting that dust away. We're still cutting that diamond out. We got to blow that dust off, make sure we get a couple of cuts in the right spot to chisel it away to be that perfect diamond.
Right. Yeah. And I like the fact that they're going to get that chance to develop under a fine offensive coordinator. This should help these two young men, Powers Johnson and Glaze, develop more quickly, and perhaps we'll have some cohesion in that line, perhaps not. Oh, Raider 401, he says, it's me, it's Jeff. How dare he change his name? But we really need to focus. I really believe the Raiders should focus on that offense for number 6 and maybe even the second round. We got ourselves a rack of linebackers in free agency, by the way. I don't know whether anybody's on the list of free agents that we signed on defense at safety. I mean, CB's a need, but we still got to work on that offense. Guys, I got to run. I'm sorry. It's one of those nights. Crazy. But as always, I love it. And I will be watching you tomorrow night.
Got it. Sorry. I had it.
No. Well, no, because I just mentioned, didn't we pick up a lot? We picked up one linebacker, 2 CBs, right?
I think we picked up 2 linebackers, didn't we?
We got Devin White, Elan Roberts from the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then we got a whole bunch of DBs. Eric Stokes. There was Jeremy Chin, so Lonnie Johnson. So
he took care of himself good in free agency. They took care of that defense good, and maybe they made a conscious decision to let the draft define our offense and just coach them up. Yeah. And, all right, guys. Anyway, I'm gonna run, but I'll be watching you tomorrow night, and I'll see you in 2 weeks, and we can talk about the draft.
All right,
really happy. Love you guys. All right, see you soon. Bye, everybody.
Right. Where's that outro? Where's that outro? We'd like to thank Miss Peggy for showing up in our virtual on-location stage here in Lambeau Field at Green Bay.
Way the fuck out there.
We find ways to make it happen here at the cage match. So,
we're at Lambeau. I don't care what anybody says. We're there.
We're at Lambeau. Yeah, we're at Lambeau. We're there. Okay. Look at the same background. And everything. We took over. We took over the background. We got the screens going. It says the cage match. You know, so we're here. Okay.
Now, Roger Goodell.
Yeah. We're gonna be fighting with him tomorrow. I know that for sure. So like I said,
I'm sure
we're here.
Doing a lot of fighting.
Oh yeah. And then I wanted to say with DJ Glaze, if anything, if we do get a tackle in the draft, DJ Glaze could be good at moving in the middle because I think he's more comfortable, I believe, as that guard, right? But he can play tackle and he did well. So if you move him over to guard in the inside, maybe on that right side, and then have that right tackle, whoever it is.
If I remember correctly, though, if we get Armand, he'd fill in for Meredith.
Who? DJ Glaze or the rookie?
The rookie.
Well, I guess it's good when it comes to
from your videos and everything. He wasn't on the outside; he was on the inside.
No, he was a tackle.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah, he was a tackle.
Okay.
He just did a lot of pulling. He ran out a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, either or. I mean, I guess when it comes to offensive line, you have options.
Well, and that's one thing the Raiders have done well, especially here as of late for the last 5-10 years. And I always like this: is finding those players that could play multiple positions on the line.
Yeah.
Because
versatile.
You never know what's going to happen. And when you're pigeonholed to just one position, that could be great for you or it could hurt you. When you can play well at multiple positions, because there's some guys who can play both guard and tackle, but they can only do it on the right side. Then you got people who can turn around and play tackle, but they can play both left or right tackle. So being able to have that fluidity on the offensive line ends up going a long way. I like players who could either play on both sides, play multiple positions. I do like that. So if Glaze is one of those guys too, I do like it.
Yeah, and the whole Colton Miller thing, I mean, everyone is writing it, making it a story. It is volunteer training or volunteer camp, I guess. So I guess that's yet to be seen.
That's what Spytech said. This is all voluntary right now. Yes, he wants an extension. Nobody has said that he is going to hold out for an extension. He just he's choosing not to do the voluntary part of everything. Let's see what happens for one in the draft, because then you either have or lose leverage that way as the team or as Colton Miller. And let's start to see when the mandatory shit comes out. And if he wants it that bad and going, then it's going to be one of those, he starts holding out for mandatory, then you know exactly where things are headed. And to me, it goes back to what we were talking about with me assuming he's healthy and everything. You don't start holding out. You don't start doing that kind of shit if you still have the possibility or think you're not 100%. So Colton Miller, if he's doing all this, feels he's back at being 100%. And it's going to start to try to play this game, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. And Miller, he had the injury. He wasn't all that great last year because of the injury, where he missed basically all the training camp going into the preseason. I don't think he really saw any real action until the first game of the season. So that's all to be seen. And I know one of your theories was, like you said, maybe he's just trying to make sure he's healthy. So let me not waste it on this volunteer. I do my own workouts and just get ready for the season. So when it's time to do training camp, mandatory and all that, I'm ready to go. But he will be, if he's not already, he will be 30. No, I think he is 30. I think he is already 30. And
no, I think he turns 30 before the season starts or some shit. Like, I think he's 29 right now.
Yeah, so I know he's like right there, and not that that's old for an offensive lineman, but the last year and a half, he's been showing some signs of, I don't want to say declining, but injuries are taking longer.
Well,
to
that injury, yeah, you know,
yeah. So
definitely. You know, I mean, yeah, it's one of those. Uh, he's starting to get up there and go, which would explain why he might be, you know, trying to hold out. You know, the next contract could possibly be his last and going, but 30 is still. I mean, there's still what, at least another 5 years if he's healthy.
if he can sustain, yeah. But I
Yeah,
mean,
he's 29 right now.
he's
October 9th, he'll turn 30.
he I believe this year going or this season is his last season under contract. So I don't know if the Raiders, if they think he's not, if the Raiders don't have any intentions of re-signing him, I think it should be a good, you know, that they should really see what they can get for him, just to get something out of him. You know, if he goes to free agency after this coming season. So I believe this is his last season under contract. So Raiders have a decision to make if they're going to go out there and tackle, or an offensive lineman that can play tackle, or if they believe they have the guys that can step in for Miller, get something for Miller via trade, whether it's before the draft or for future drafts, you know, because I know the draft is tomorrow, maybe. I don't know. They've been talking about O'Connell too. I don't know if they try to package them or what they're going to do.
Heard O'Connell, Miller, and there was one more. Oh, Tyree Wilson.
So
as possible trade baits during the draft.
Yeah, and I said this, I've been saying this over and over again this offseason. I feel like we are reliving 2024 all over again, because looking for a head coach, looking for a GM. Now it's who's going to be quarterback. We have these guys in the draft. Half the nation wants it. Other half don't want. Last year, we didn't have a choice. I mean, outside of trading or whatever, but we didn't have a choice. We stayed at 13, ended up getting Brock Bowers because Michael Penix, who everybody had on their mock draft, had on their big board and everything, that he was going to go to the Raiders. Atlanta, after signing Cousins to that big contract, went and took Penix right after, a month after they did that. So who knows what could happen tomorrow, number 6.
I heard there's a possible trade coming up between 3 teams for Cousins, and one of the 3 teams is the Vikings.
He goes, they got J.J. McCarthy unproven because he was injured last year after the Raider game in the preseason. So, I mean, if the drama hasn't been building up to this, not just for the Raiders, but for a lot of teams, whether it's with trading picks or whatever, because it seems like no one's real happy except for the Titans. They got the first pick, so they're probably going to get Cam Ward, but nobody.
Apparently, the news story about that is they're staying pat. They're not trading away that pick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, outside of the Titans, it seems like, I mean, we can get somebody, but if anybody wants, you know, we'll go get more picks. All these stories keep coming out that all these teams are open to hearing proposals on their pick, you know, and then just kind of doing real quick up into ours. You see, you have the Titans, of course, are probably going to get Cam Ward. That's almost a given. The Browns,
I don't know. They might take Shador.
He can go to the Browns. Yeah, Shador go to the Browns.
No,
then you got, you know. I don't know.
But any of the quarterbacks go to the Browns. Right now, they're collecting quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah, and they're going to put them on IR and pay them. That's what I need to. I want to get paid quarterback money and be on disability, okay? I'm only doing it at the blue-collar level, okay?
Alex Moran.
Say that again?
The Browns are looking for the next Alex Moran. He's the backup quarterback for Blue Mountain State.
See, if I had a choice of quarterback,
backup.
If I had a choice of quarterback, maybe Falco from the replacements.
Yes, definitely. I'll take Falco.
I wouldn't trust Paul Crew Adam Sandler, because, he might want to play, and then
if the money's right, he might take it. Yeah, you just never know. You just can't trust that.
Yeah, so well, I don't know.
Not with the money these NFL owners be throwing around nowadays.
Yeah, but hey, you get Beeman, Jamie Foxx. Every given Sunday. So I'm just saying, nah. But yeah, we'll all see what happens tomorrow. We'll be there virtually. We'll be there, and
we're gonna be there.
We'll be there. Cause and we're gonna find ways, okay? We're gonna find ways. Of course, our show. If you watch the show many times, we push the limits when it comes to YouTube. So for those diehard cage match fans, we're gonna you cage matchians out there. Cage. That we're gonna push the limits to give you a great broadcast until this man right here tries to come in and shut us down. We've done it.
Yeah, meat curtains.
He's gonna be over there, so
Hey, he's gonna be too busy trying to figure out how to say some of these names.
Oh, yeah, just wait till next year. Just wait till next year. Hopefully that guy goes first round and he has to say his name.
No, I think it's 2 years from now.
Are you sure? Oh well.
I think it's 2 years. I think this was his freshman year of college.
Well, yeah. So tomorrow,
Raiders.
Yeah. If you know, you know. If you don't know, we can't say. I don't know. Whatever.
We're gonna wait till that time comes.
Look at Anna says go the Chief route and use a 6th pick to draft a referee.
Hey, she's not wrong there.
Yeah.
She's not wrong there. Nobody can argue with that pick.
Hey, I'll take it. It'd be a silver and black stripes. Hey, let's go.
Let's go. Be about fucking time.
Yeah.
It's only taken 60-something years.
It'll be that ref. It'll be that ref in I don't know. I don't know any cool refs in movies, so never mind. I was thinking of I got confused. I was thinking of Leslie Nielsen at the umpire when he was with
the umpire.
A Naked Gun. So
same difference.
Yeah, so with that, we're doing a short shoot. It's just shoot. A short show today because we're gonna come back tomorrow at the start of the draft. I believe it's 5 p.m. Just basically like our regular show time, 5 p.m. Pacific.
Are we gonna come on a little early, or we're gonna start at the start of the draft?
We can come on early and just talk whatever, and then lead in the way.
That's what I wanted to do. I was just asking.
Well, everyone will get the notification on YouTube of what time we will start, because we got our set out there. So we're set with our set. Wanted to make trade with Houston for Deshaun Watson would have been terrible. Just look at what Cleveland going through. I remember that. In hindsight, we dodged. Yes. So yes. So there was, there was a saying, and the Warrior game is about to start in 15 minutes too. So 6:30. The Warriors, if you're a Warrior fan.
Oh, now you know why you really want to go early.
Well, I'm just saying, it's game 2, okay? So Warriors are 1-0 against the Rockets right now.
But with the first one, I missed it. So
well, what I was saying is, I think it was Joe Lacob, either Joe Lacob or I'm forgetting the GM at the time. He got the rings. He whatever, but they said sometimes it's the trade that you don't make is what makes it successful. So
God damn, I'm the one heavily medicated. You're the one having problems talking.
I'm just trying to make sure that we're both on the same level, okay? On the Lambeau Leap here at Draft Central, the cage match. We'll be there, and trust me, no WrestleMania talk. Well, hey,
I know it says the cage match, But doesn't mean we follow that shit. Triple H is out to get us too. He's in the same boat as Roger Goodell. Why are we going to support that?
Well, I was rooting for John Cena against Cody Rhodes, and I know John Cena needed Travis Scott to help him out. But in wrestling, if you can get around the refs, you can do whatever you want. That's the Raider way. Oh yeah, dig it. By the way, John Cena won, and it's probably what you probably didn't know. You probably didn't know because you couldn't see him. Oh, you couldn't see him. All right, everybody, we'll be here tomorrow. We'll be here tomorrow for the draft. This is a little teaser. Of course, we have to bring Miss Peggy because it's Miss Peggy. So
we couldn't skip a day. We couldn't skip a Peggy day.
Yes, so
that's the one that you don't miss.
Come back tomorrow. Put it up there. We'll say no later than 5 p.m. Okay, because we got to get our panel together. We will have Douglas Sheffield, aka Raider Homer. Asylum's favorite partner on the set. They work well together. Never fighting each other. Never fighting with each other. So we'll have him on here on the set. And like I said, Raider Man could show up later into the broadcast. So that's what time you guys going till. We'll see. I want to do the whole thing, but I might have, speaking of like wrestling, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see who we have to tag team. That sounds weird. Let me start over. Pause. We'll see who we have and who can come and do whatever, but we'll see. Our show is ready to cover the whole draft. Let's just go with that way. Our show was ready to cover the whole draft. So, and trust me, you're going to love how we do it tomorrow. All right. Asylum. Any last words?
No, I'm actually excited to see what happens because we're either going to love what happens, hate what happens, or we're going to be like Callie Marks sitting there like, what the fuck did we just do?
Yeah. I have that picture too, but I it's somewhere else. Whatever. I have it tomorrow, okay? I have it tomorrow, the one I edited. So, Asylum, we'll be here tomorrow. Like I said, we're on set right now. So you'll see this set tomorrow, and trust me, you're gonna feel like we're there. You're gonna feel like we're there. We got a lot of things going on. So, and then maybe Goodell, maybe we'll get a shout out from Goodell. I don't know. So we'll see what happens. But until then, everybody, thank you for watching. Thank you to Miss Peggy who came on, who gave us a that last bit of knowledge, like what do you call that? I don't know. A lecture. There you go. Lecture of are we Asylum? Are we going to cover all 7 rounds? Did he freeze? Look at that. See, Asylum had to go. But until then, everybody, we say thank you. And I think his meds kicked in so much he froze, and then yeah. But it is what it is. Everybody, and I saw that too. He had a long battle with ALS. I saw that too. So rest in peace, Chicago Bear. All right, and everybody, take care. We'll see you tomorrow live on set. Round 1, the round 1 Rumble, the round 1 Rumble, right here. If I can find the thing, right here. At the cage match, at least, at the latest, 5 p.m. Pacific time, and then 6 Mountain, and then 7 Central, and then 8 Eastern. You know how it goes. Everyone's gonna be doing a draft. So are we. So everybody, thank you. Take care. Jeff's show is on next in about 40 minutes. So take care. We'll see you later. Peace out. Come back tomorrow, and let's see what we do when it comes to pick 6 in the draft. Take care.
All you other NFL teams, your tailgates are weak. Your teams are weak. We might be down right now, but it doesn't take away the history. And all you Raiders out there need to know your fucking history of who the fuck you playing for and where the fuck you're playing. Damn it. Oh, and by the way, I won my last cage fight again. I'm still undefeated. And you NFL motherfuckers out there that you think you want some, come on and get some anytime.